Hey, welcome to the RIOT Podcast. It's Tuesday. We're 2 days away from the fundraiser.
We are about ready to start our RadioU spring fundraiser, which will still have different shortened podcasts during those days. So you'll still get stuff, but it is helpful to take a moment and go to radiou.com/donate to learn about us supporting RadioU and supporting our RIOT podcast.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, you don't support the podcast or the radio station, there is no podcast.
Correct. So
just a little heads up there.
They go hand in hand together, and it is not free to put out this podcast. So hopefully you appreciate it enough to even send in a few dollars. That makes a big difference for us.
Okay, so let's talk about the text message I just got. No, sorry. Let's talk about the doctor coming for a visit.
Okay.
Casa Bonita.
Yeah.
Which goes on way longer than I would thought. Yeah. We also talk about loving people, saying no to the Powerpuff Girls, Mystery Science Theater, Major League Baseball, spam, West Virginia, NASCAR, which in a lot of ways is probably my favorite thing today. I just love it. And we also talk about what do you do when you have that thing you want to talk about, but you don't know who to talk to it about.
There's no one to talk to it about.
And then completely unrelated, I talk about the thing that I have no one to talk to about, and that is For All Mankind. I might get a little passionate about it.
Well, you know, it's fine. And you did find a few listeners who also watch it. So you have a couple of For All Mankind buddies now.
So it's there.
Yeah, there's a couple who like to hear you talk about it.
Gordo.
And it ends on a sad theory, so
I know, but that's okay. It's a whole. I have been thinking a lot. You listen to that, but my theory is this. I feel like a lot of times, at least in my own life, if something good is happening, I almost find it terrifying because every time
it'll change.
Every time in film, movies, TV, whatever, right when something good happens for somebody, they're about to have a terrible, terrible setback.
That's because they always have to keep things going.
Exactly.
And there's only so many ways to freshen up a character before the ultimate end of the character would be to kill them off.
And that's why
For All Mankind.
I'm nervous.
Even though there's no one said anything about a character they're dying. But so listen to the podcast and you guys decide.
All right. Well, you guys enjoy the show and we'll talk to you later.
Have a great day.
Bye.
There's no fresh by date because it was spoiled when they made it. Worst of the Riot, RadioU.
Ladies and gentlemen, the doctor is in.
Oh, you're like, oh no, be sick again. Not that doctor.
No. This is how we're going to make sure the fundraiser happens and I don't get sick during it. We're just going to keep a constant supply of the doctor's special care.
So it's almost like Dr. Pepper to us is preventative care.
Oh, it is. It's like maintenance on your car.
It is. It's the oil for your car.
Put a little oil in there, that engine's going to be fine.
It's probably, if you look at it, it's makeup, like not too far off.
You're probably right.
So yeah, the Diet Dr. Pepper has been opened for the spring fundraiser, which kicks off on Thursday.
You know, I wasn't going to drink any, and I opened the fridge, and there was some in there cold, and I was like, well, you know what this is? This is entrapment.
It's temptation.
This is entrapment.
You fell for it.
No jury would convict a man that was just ambushed by a cold Diet Dr. Pepper.
I know, normally they've never done that before. It's usually just out kind of to the side in our break room, and then we just scavenge through it like during the actual fundraiser, but they've been put in cold.
Yeah, they have.
So you'll have to replace the colds. As
that's
we take
a good
them from
call.
there, we got to put them back in.
But we'll put them in the back.
Yeah.
So someone doesn't accidentally grab a hot one.
Be
or
like,
we put the hot one out there and they're like, this is a lie. These are hot. And then they don't touch them anymore.
No, because then you'll start this domino effect of the fridge must be broken. And then they make a service call. And then it's all because you took a Diet Dr. Pepper early and didn't wait till Thursday.
And you think she's
see
kidding.
What you can do?
And you think she's kidding.
I'm not kidding.
It's real.
They'll be like, oh my gosh, you know, it's there's a problem. And then with COVID, they'll be like, well, we'll see you in 2 months.
Oh my gosh. You're right. You're right.
So
everything.
Just put
and we
it back.
can point all of it back to that. Like it all started when you took a Diet Dr. Pepper.
That's the problem point.
Man, it's tough in here. Well, I'll tell you what, the doctor's in. The doctor is cool as ever and is refreshing me as we begin our journey towards the fundraiser that starts on Thursday.
Yeah, we're excited.
You can grab more details, RadioU.com/donate, or you can give early.
There are some people that shouldn't have their own podcast. And by some people, we mean these people. Radio U's Worst of the Riot podcast.
I don't want to get into all the details, but remember how I told you I had all those movies I couldn't give away?
Yeah.
I had somebody who was interested in a couple of them. Like, well, how much are they? I was like, no.
You don't understand, guys. These are free.
They're free on one condition.
Yeah.
You have to take all of them.
Not even to separate. You don't want to separate them.
They're friends. They're old friends.
They're used to being together.
You can't.
Are these Blu-rays or?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was just like, listen, I can't. No.
Now you can give them away to anybody you want, but it's not like they're leaving your house.
The important thing is they're not with me anymore.
So they have to take the whole stack.
That's what I told them. I was like, they only wanted a couple. I was like, no.
Nope, that's not how this works.
All of them.
So the person's getting them. Are you free now? Did you say goodbye?
I did. Like we're to that point where, how like, oh, I miss you so much. But then the person doesn't leave. And then you're like on that fourth awkward goodbye. It's like that.
Well, and also you have all these movies in 4K. So these Blu-ray ones have felt ignored and on their way out for quite some time.
The sad thing, too, is, it's not bad, but if you buy a movie in 4K, you almost always get the Blu-ray and a digital copy. Aww. So you're just like...
You've replaced them many times over.
I'm buried in this nonsense. So it's fine.
Aw, well, they're gone.
Yeah, it's time, Nikki. It's time. I gave you a chance. There wasn't any that you were interested in.
No, I don't recall. It's probably a given.
Oh, I can tell you right now.
The ones you're willing to give away. I don't think they're probably my style.
It's not in your wheelhouse.
Sure, and I don't like having physical movies. Haven't had any quite some time, so I don't want them.
You know what? It's sad. It's like I do. I like buying them. I like getting that extra picture quality and stuff, but laziness does win a lot. After watching Falcon and Winter Soldier, I was like, I want to watch some Captain America Winter Soldier, the second Captain America movie. And I was like, yeah, you got that 4K Blu-ray in there. Go ahead and get it and put it in. And it was like, or you could click 3 buttons.
Oh, yeah, there it is. Welcome.
And that's what happened. And I was just like,
at that point, it's like, it's just good enough, isn't it?
That's exactly what I thought. I was like, it looks pretty good.
But you like the commentary stuff. Do they put any of that on Disney Plus?
Yeah.
Or
no?
Oh, so you still?
I love all the crap that comes with it. But in the moment, like when I had my feet up, and I was just like, yeah. I'll just click here.
Well, buy Blu-rays of Obi's collection.
Bye.
We knew you for so long, and now it's time that you go and impact someone else's house.
That's right. Make someone else happy.
Make
all right,
some
we're
new friends.
Spreading the happiness around.
But you still have your collection friends there, and hopefully you stay together for a long time.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be great.
Well, you don't like to see movies separated.
No, I don't. Especially not if they're in the same franchise.
I know. It's hard.
That's like taking a puppy out of the group. Like, it's so sad. You have to adopt all the puppies.
The Marvel family. You're like, don't separate them.
No.
How to survive the riot. Do the complete opposite of everything they say. You're listening to The Riot on Radio U.
Tomorrow I'm planning on going Mexican for lunch.
Oh, you are?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, gonna have some quesadillas. And I know, like, I don't like real. No.
You're going someplace else.
I don't like real Mexican food, like the real stuff. I'm just like, can you give me the chicken and cheese thing? That's what I...
Just the basic quesadilla is fine with you. And chips. Don't forget chips and a queso dip.
Perfect. So
really it's just cheese and dough.
Cheese and flour, I guess.
That's all you enjoy.
Well, and chicken.
Yeah, that's true. But you could take that out and just have cheese. And so you'd be just fine, too.
I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at anything that you're saying right now. So I feel like I have heard of this place, and I feel like you've been there. I don't know why. Casa Bonita?
I don't... How do you spell it?
It's Bonita.
Okay.
Yeah. So it is a restaurant in Denver, Colorado that is famous for its a Mexican restaurant that has indoor cave diving.
I've not been there. I don't think any of us have been there.
Okay, but
indoor cave diving?
Yeah, but like didn't you go a place in California that had like something like that?
Cave diving? No. I mean, we're talking like...
Did they have a diver?
No.
Did they have a swimmer?
No.
Then why am I, like, in my mind, you've been to a place like this.
Are you talking like when I would just take it to the beach to eat?
No, it's not it. It's not it.
I mean, that's like a Rubio's, a Wahoo's, something like that, but...
I don't know. Well,
no.
Here's the deal. Casa Bonita. Mm-hmm. They are apparently...
This looks like Epcot.
a very famous Mexican restaurant in Colorado, and they have just had to file for bankruptcy.
Are they going to close, or is it just bankruptcy?
Well, they're saying that, like, right now...
They can still continue?
Bankruptcy, yeah, but they can't open. Like, I don't think they have been open since spring of last year.
They have a 30-foot waterfall, daring cliff divers, exciting stage shows, and musicians. It actually looks really interesting.
I mean, and how's the food?
Well, it doesn't matter.
Not supposed to ask.
It doesn't matter at that point. Yeah, their website just says it's reopening soon, but there's no details. No, yeah. I've never been to a place like this.
Okay. I really genuinely thought you had.
No.
That must be the other Nikki.
Who has a more fascinating life, who goes to these cave dives.
I don't know. Like, you always have these stories about how when you were a kid, you're like, oh, my parents drug us there when we were blah, blah, blah. And I don't even think I've been to Colorado, but I don't think I've been into Denver. Okay.
So I haven't even been there.
So no Casa Bonita for you.
No, but it looks cool. That's too bad.
All right. Well, in fairness, no Casa Bonita for anybody right now. But
you just wanted to talk about Mexican food.
I thought I was going to tell you about it, and you would have been like, oh, yeah, everybody knows that.
No, I've never. 46 years they've been open.
Oh, 46 years, and we've never been there.
Okay, so this does seem like, like medieval times.
Yeah.
That my parents have always taken me to, like the Dixie Stampede.
See?
Were you
it doesn't seem that far
off. It
off.
does seem like I've been there before, but I'm not.
Come on.
You're like, I'm going to the pony dinner show.
Oh, my gosh. Okay, wait. A Dixie Stampede, don't you have to choose, like, the Union or the...
I don't know how that's been modernized.
My guess is that's not playing as well as it used to.
Was it the Confederacy in that? I don't remember. I always liked medieval times more.
Because you were like, the Red Knight or the Blue Knight.
Yeah, that was less problematic with it.
Yeah.
But still, knights are oppressive, so... It was still an issue. And you had to eat without silverware. That was the real thing when you were young.
Oh, yeah.
So this cave, diving cliff show thing actually looks really cool.
It's not out of the question that you could have gone there if you had been in Colorado.
You're right. There's a lot of ifs there, but it's sad to see if it's not doing well, and hopefully they'll reopen.
We've got an archive of everything stupid the Riot has ever said at your fingertips. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
So we were talking about the demise of Casa Bonita, the restaurant in Colorado that my fantasy Nikki
had been to many times.
Had been to at least once.
When I never have. Don't know anybody who's been to this place in Denver, though it seems like you guys know a few.
Yeah, so I don't have a name here, but here's somebody who says, texted us at 877-2-RADIO-U. Remember, you can always do the same. He says, sad to hear about Casa Bonita. Went there several times many years ago. Oh, that's the problem. Years ago.
Haven't been back.
It was a lot of fun, and they really do indoor cliff diving. Food was plentiful and decent, but the hot sopapillas with cinnamon and sugar or honey were outrageously good.
That's stuff.
Doesn't that sound delicious?
And you're like, oh, I've had some. No, you haven't. A lot of places around probably where you live, those are not sopapillas. They're not the right ones.
They just say they are?
They just say they are, and it's just like a different version. If you find places like this that have the real
true
stuff,
sopapilla.
God, you wouldn't even be here now because you ate so many. You either died or you just left the earth because you were so happy, or you're stuck there because of all the honey.
Sounds delicious to me, man.
That sounds good.
Also, Jeff texted. He said, let's see. We got back from Gatlinburg last week where we went to a pirate dinner show with sword fighting, diving, and fire spinning. Totally worth the price.
I think Jerome also mentioned about the pirate show. That seems to be the new place if you go to one of those beach places or Gatlinburg. Right. Though that's not a beach place, but it's the dinner theater place where you have a show and some sort of meal.
Is it? Okay. Like, honestly, like, is it bad that doesn't appeal to me?
Well, did you ever go when you were little?
No.
Well, I think maybe it has.
Is that the difference?
I
like, you go at a certain age, you go and
you need to eat, so you might as well have a show with a pirate thing.
I'm just kind of like, look, like I'm here for the food, and you guys are charging me for the show. I would rather.
No, you have to go for the show
and then the
food, because the food's not going to be like, it'll be maybe good, but it's not going to be Casa Bonita good.
Okay.
Unless you're there.
So
that doesn't count. I don't put this place in Denver as the same as the Myrtle Beach sort of show or the Florida shows, the Orlando thing.
Yeah. Other Jeff, who also texted, says Casa Bonita has a very 70s vibe. You raise the little flag on your table when you need something.
Aww.
I like that.
That's cute.
I mean, I'll tell you, it's better than waiting for the waitress who never comes back.
Well, it doesn't mean they're coming. You just raise the flag.
The food is okay, but not great. The best things are the sopapillas.
Come on.
I mean, I'll tell you what, there seems to be a real theme happening this morning. It's a sopapilla morning.
Does anybody know any places like where RadioU's headquartered that actually has good ones?
Sopapillas.
Because if you do, let me know. If they're not the best, if it's like the everybody keeps saying the food's just okay. If it's just okay, I don't want to know.
I want something. I mean, it's the opposite of the experience I had on vacation. I went to that hole-in-the-wall Italian place. It was a little too expensive, but the food was shockingly good.
These were still good.
They had no show, I'll tell you. Nothing happening. There was no cave diving, and there was definitely no waitress cliffs coming back for you, but the food was great.
You didn't go back further. You needed to go back more behind where all the cooking stuff was. There probably was a cliff show.
You're probably right.
The Riot. Just because it's bad doesn't mean it's not good. Wait. Isn't that exactly what it means? It's The Riot on RadioU.
So, Nikki, I feel like there's a couple different ways I could go with this. I've been chewing on it for the last day or so. And, we were just talking about people yelling at each other online over vaccinations. And we were talking about two separate incidents.
Oh, yeah. Not that.
There are multiple that we could go by. I mean, you've got something as simple as yelling at each other online, if that's simple, to burning buildings, to, there are shootings that have happened in the last couple of days. I mean, there's just all these terrible things that are going on, like just all over the place. And here's something I want to throw out at you, is that I'm not going to say that there aren't other things that should be done. But for you and I, as I read it, we're just forgetting how to love people. Like we are. Like we just don't know. We are forgetting how to have the basic, what I would call basic human decency. But I'm starting to think that maybe it's not. Like maybe it's not basic human decency. Maybe in reality, it's something that God teaches us to love other people. Now, I also want to throw this out. I think sometimes we are like, as I'm a Christian, I have a relationship with Jesus, and I think some of my gang has a tendency to be like, oh, it's just God, go fix everything, and then, we do nothing at all. What it comes down to, I think, is this, is I think that we need to have a relationship with God, and we need to listen to what he says and do it. God wants to teach us to love other people. In fact, if you go back and look at Jesus, one of his main things, have you heard this before? Treat others the way you want to be treated.
Remember the Peabody song we play here at Radio U where you just love everybody?
Love everybody. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, Jesus can talk to you all day long, but if you don't go out and do that, if you don't go out and treat others the way you want to be treated, then God isn't the answer, right? Because God's talking, you're listening, but you're not doing anything with it. I would say to you that God wants to teach us to love other people. We got to listen to him and we got to do what he says. Now, I realize that's not that exciting. It's a lot easier to just tweet thoughts and prayers and go about your day. But what I would encourage you to do is have thoughts and prayers. Talk to God today. Talk to him about the world, but talk to him about your life. Listen to what he has to say and get out there and do it. Jesus loves you and he loves the people next to you. It doesn't matter what the color of their skin is or what language they speak or what gender none of that. He loves them just like he loves you, and he wants to teach us how to love each other. If you don't have a relationship with God, it's a good place to start. You can just say, God, you know what? I want you in my life. I want you to fill me with your spirit. and I want you to teach me how to love other people. Help me to listen and help me to do it.
The Riot has now been downloaded. I hope you installed some antivirus. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
You know, Nikki, I think that I just need to, right now, you and I, maybe it's just me, but maybe it's us, we need to decide that we are either going to completely, and I mean completely, ignore the live-action Powerpuff Girls show.
Or talk about it.
Or we're going to try to go into it with an open mind.
I don't know. It's a CW show, and they're changing it. And if you grew up with Powerpuff Girls, it's not going to be the same style. So I don't know.
That's why I'm saying.
I don't know if we want to talk about it.
That maybe it's for the best.
Yeah.
That we just decide that we're not going to watch it.
Well, I'm not watching it anyway.
Or, okay, just like maybe we pretend it doesn't exist. Now, I'm going to have an even harder time because I am currently watching Superman and Lois. I know it's on hiatus, but that means that I am actively engaging with the CW right now.
Yeah, you are. There is a show you like on there.
Yes, there is.
They just have a style with everything, and I'm not saying they ruin it. In some seasons of some shows that they create based off of a character that, you've grown up with, they don't necessarily ruin it at first, but you give it a couple of seasons, and they always do. Yeah.
And I'll just tell you, these photos that have emerged, the set photos
of the Powerpuff Girls.
Yeah.
People are really mad at what might be the costumes. When I first saw it, I thought, well, maybe it's like a run through and, it's just very basic costumes. But we think that it might be, when you first start off as a Powerpuff Girl, right, maybe that's your basic first costume and then it morphs into something else.
I think what you're looking at is going to be them being like, we need to change our look. And that's going to be part of their big rebellious stage.
Sure. So that's like the initial first look.
So these costumes that they're in right here are not the costumes you're going to see them in
and it's
forever.
It's a series, right? It's not like a movie.
It is a series, yeah. So you know what? I don't know. It's just a shame. And I'll go as far as to say this. I love Powerpuff Girls, early 2000s Powerpuff Girls. They did a reboot show. Mm-hmm. I didn't really like that either. It really lacked something. The voices, they got different voices. That was a huge mistake. And then it just wasn't. No.
Doesn't have to be good. Doesn't mean just because they make it, it's going to be good.
I know.
And you don't have to like it either.
You're right. I don't.
So, just because we watched Powerpuff Girls a tiny bit when we were younger.
Well, but that's the thing is.
Doesn't mean that we're watching this.
That's why I'm saying, see, I watch Powerpuff Girls every Christmas.
Because they're Christmas special?
They have a Christmas episode. I love that. I watch it every year. And so I continue to feel this connection to them when what I really need to do is I just need to let it go.
I think that's the best thing. So we're clicking out. That's it. If we watch the show, then that happens, but we don't feel like we have to.
All right, here we go. I'm turning it right now. Click.
Something to listen to when you meant to work out but tripped into a box of donuts. This is RadioU's Worst of the Riot.
So I was on vacation last week, and Nikki, I have to ask, did you guys talk about Mystery Science Theater?
Oh, yeah, I talked about it a few times.
You did?
Well, more in honor of you not being there, and I said, I'm sure next week when you do get back, we'll talk about it then.
Oh, my gosh. I'm so excited about it. They have launched another... Okay. Let's start at the beginning. If you don't know what Mystery Science Theater is...
You should go all the way.
All the way back. If you don't know what that is that show where they have the little robots down front with the guy and they make fun of the old movie.
So they're watching the old movies and you're watching the commentary.
Right. So there is some of it's on Netflix. There was a revival they did with a Kickstarter because it was popular-ish in the 90s. It was on late at night. And it was on Comedy Central, I think, and then on Sci-Fi.
That feels about right.
Yeah. And so they did a revival, showed up on Netflix, and now they are they're basically building their own streaming service for it.
What was it, the Digidome or something?
They're calling it the Gizmoplex.
It was close. Gizmoplex.
Yeah.
It's like a virtual theater.
Fair enough. And so the idea will be that, however you Kickstart or whatever, you can basically... It seems like you basically, if you don't sign up for it and pay in advance, through the Kickstarter thing, you'll just pay whatever it will cost to watch a movie.
Sure.
So it'll almost be a live on demand something. So I don't know exactly how it's going to work, but I'm just going to go ahead and go in for all of it. Like,
did you kickstart it?
I haven't yet, but
you don't need to. They made all the money.
No,
I guess you get the stuff from it.
Yeah, I want to do I actually want to get the rewards. The reward I would really like if I were to do the amount, like, let's say money's no option. I'd like to do the $250 one because you get like a poster, a shirt, and there's a bunch of other stuff. I don't think I'm ready to invest that much. I was thinking maybe, and I'm almost embarrassed to say it out loud, maybe 100.
Okay.
That's kind of a lot.
It is for a Kickstarter. It's kind of a lot.
Yeah. But I guess
they're good for it. They have a pretty good track record.
They do. And you know what? I know that you won't believe me when I say this. There aren't that many things I really like. Like, I mean, really like. I really like Mystery Science Theater.
So that'd be like giving to a family or friend.
In some ways it is. This is like, these are people that for some weird reason I feel connected to, and I want them to succeed.
So they made over $2 million in 24 hours.
Yes.
And I don't know what it's currently sitting at.
This says 2.6 million.
Well, then that really slowed down then.
Well, they said that if you look at it historically, that's exactly what happens, is that you have a big first day or two. You slow down in the middle, and then towards the end, you build momentum.
Up to like 5.5 million is what they want.
And Nick, you're well educated on this Mystery Science Theater stuff.
I read it, and I have a pretty good memory. And if it's something you care about, I put it in that little folder section over there in my brain.
Technically, they've got enough to do 3 episodes. But
they need more support then. That's not enough.
I would like to see them do 12.
Sure.
Which would be like essentially a whole season. And I think they were going to release an episode a month.
But it's just on their site. Like, it's not through Netflix or no other streaming service.
None of that.
Doesn't mean a streaming service, watch this, a streaming service down the road might buy it from them. But at least for now, this is how it'll be.
I think it'll depend on how they do. Mm-hmm. I think that if they continue to... Like their idea here is like, hey, we're going to set this thing up with the hope that it's a sustainable business model so that they can run on their own. That's what they say. And I'll tell you this, I'm a nerd for this stuff, man.
The Riot really wanted to do this live, but now they can play video games and eat rice cakes instead. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
I started it actually might have been January. But yesterday I finally finished it. Now that we're headed into late spring, early summer, I fixed the snowblower.
You did? Oh, I thought you were going to say taxes or something. It was the snowblower? It's not going to snow anymore.
I know. I fixed my snowblower. You
finally fixed it.
Here's what's really dumb. Okay, first off, when I say a snowblower, to me, that just sounds like the richest person in the world. I might as well be saying I fixed my jet. Because when I was a kid, if somebody had a snowblower, I was like, you're the richest person in the whole world.
Well, that's because you had to shovel you had a shovel then.
I had a fork. They were like, get out there and get the driveway clean.
And you're not even getting paid. No. You just need to do it.
And so my dad gave me a snowblower before he moved. And I told him, I was like, Dad, you're making a huge mistake. It still snows there. No, we don't need it. So he got buried in snow too. So when I went to start it, I couldn't get it to work. Blah, blah, blah. Cleaned the carburetor, cleaned this, did that. Finally bought a new carburetor. It works.
Yeah.
So hooray for me.
That took a long time then.
Well, you know what? Once I got the carburetor.
How come the carburetor took so long to get in? Or did it just sit there?
Oh, yeah. No,
yeah, okay. I was wondering because I thought that was way back in January.
You know what, Nikki? You know how I had some long haul COVID struggles?
Yeah, the sinus infection stuff.
2 different sinus infections. Plus, depression for me is so much worse in the winter. I got to a point where I was like, I hate you and I'm not fixing you.
You shouldn't try any projects in January or February.
I wanted to fix it.
Well, I know. You need to fix it before then.
It's so sad. What's really sad is I put all this work into like cleaning and fixing the other carburetor. It took me, and this is the dumbest part, it took me, I don't know, 5 minutes to put the new carburetor on. I never should have tried to fix the other one. I should have just
bought a new one,
slapped it on there. Dunsies.
Maybe there'll be some sort of like rogue storm. We've never gotten snow, and it's like, here comes the snow, and it'll only be for you, you know? Like you have your snow thing.
Yesterday, when I was doing that, you have to disconnect the gas line, and man, I don't know what I was thinking. But like, I just pulled the gas line off. I mean, gas is spraying everywhere. And
Of course it is.
I know. And that's what I thought is like, what did you think was going to happen? Like, how did you think this was going to go? And I was like, I don't know what to do with it. Instead of like crimping it or putting my thumb over it, it's just pouring everywhere. I ran and grabbed a gas can and like shoved the hose in there and it drained out. But it was just, in retrospect, I look at it and I was like, you should never go into like combat or like some sort of a high pressure situation.
What if that was someone's blood coming out?
That demands that you make a good, quick decision, because when that gas started spilling, it was just like, what?
Yeah, but what is it? What are you going to do, though? Because you can't make the quick decisions, but the carburetor sat there for how long?
I know.
That's a long decision.
Bottom line is I'm just kind of worthless.
No, he's in the middle, like not long decision, not quick one.
I mean, I'll just tell you this. It's fixed.
Well, I'm glad.
So
Next
I'll tell you
time
what. When it snows in 9 months,
you're ready.
And this one's had a chance to break.
Oh, but what if
I'll know how to swap it out.
Do you know how funny it'll be if next year they're like, we've had a record, like no snow at all.
No snow.
The Riot with Obadiah and Nikki on RadioU.
Food taster. And I just feel like, you ever heard of someone say they feel a calling?
As like a job or something?
As like, it's not just a job, it's my calling.
You don't even need to pay for that.
I know, but Nikki, that's what's so amazing about it is like we're coming together for this.
You
right
could
here.
get paid for it?
I could. Major League Baseball is not offering this job, but Bonus Finder, a review site that apparently does some kind of something for baseball. Oh, they review casinos where you can go make sports bets.
There it is. That's exactly what you feel like this is. That's right.
Let me tell you what. I'll take your filthy money and clean it as it passes through my hands.
We'll launder it in the right way.
So here's the idea. You sign up for their MLB food tester. They're going to select some people. They'll give you $500. But above and beyond that, they will give you a budget for travel and food money. Mm-hmm. And the idea is that you will go to all these different ballparks and you will rate the appearance, color, flavor complexity, meat quality, bun flavor, sauce, topping generosity, and overall value for the money.
I've never heard topping generosity before. I like that.
I'll tell you what, right now, you go ahead and you start a rating systems on different Chipotles about how they're doing with their burrito filling. I guarantee you that rating system takes off, and the ones that are generous, they're getting a little more traction.
You just don't get as generous from places anymore.
No.
So you'll also have to review the games on like the entertainment and quality and the stadium atmosphere and excitement.
Yeah, whatever. As you and I have said, even though we think baseball is pretty boring on TV, it's a lot of fun to go to a baseball game.
It is. It's great. And if you're getting some money and some travel cash to go with it, sure, why not? The baseball hot dog super fans, you have to be 21 or older. You have to explain why you should be chosen for an online form, and you have until May 2nd. The winner will be selected by May 5th.
I should put in for that and just be like, the reason you should choose me is I don't care about baseball, which means that I'll be focused on the hot dog.
That's true, but they do want, they want you to rate the atmosphere in the game. Again, so I don't know if that would hurt you.
I feel like I would be a great choice for this because I would be tuned into those things. Mm-hmm. Like I saw my friend Brad, he went to a Cardinals game the other day, and he didn't care that the stadium was almost empty. The only thing that mattered to him was he was there to see the Cards, right? What do I care?
You're just there to eat.
I'm there to eat. I'm there to enjoy the atmosphere. I'm there, you know what I'm saying? I'm perfect for this job.
Well, why don't you try to see if you can get some extra cash that way?
We're like, the man came out with the stick and hit the thing, and the people cheered, but the hot dogs were exquisite.
So again, this is this thing called Bonus Finder, and they did one for a professional binge watcher, and you had to watch and rank Netflix series, testing and reviewing takeout pizza with it. They've done competitions for burgers, ice cream, candy, and pumpkin pie.
You know what? It just feels like somebody over there knows us.
They know their audience.
They just know us. I don't know whether I should be flattered or angry.
Just don't fall into the gambling side of it. Just only gambling we do is with our health. That's it.
Nikki, I'll tell you, there are many vices out there that you should look at me and say, don't do this.
This one, you don't have to worry about that.
And it's like, you know what? She's right. I better not with gambling.
I don't want this to be...
No, like, don't you become a sports fan.
No, I don't want this to be a tale as old as time where you go in for hot dog reviews and you come back and you've fallen in that hole.
There's no danger.
We can't get you out.
I mean, there are holes I can and have fallen in, but the sports gambling one...
Just want to make sure, because that's what that place is.
Using advanced technology, we've digitized and transcoded Obadiah and Nikki into a purely digital format. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Go ahead, spam lovers. Raise your hand. Tell us all about your love for spam.
The food or the emails?
Oh, good call, right? No, the food.
Okay. Is anybody raising their hands?
Man, this is
some people love it. I've never tried it, but I think some people are just fine with it.
I've had it. Dad.
Your dad does keep coming in this.
He's featuring heavily in the show today.
I always see it on the Costco, like Instagram sites and stuff when people post about sales and things, because there's always like this big giant pack of spam you can get.
Yeah, and you know what? He made it just the way a lot of people did. Like you would slice it up and grill it or, fry it basically. And I don't know. There's just, you know what?
Is it the can?
I don't know. When I was a kid, I just remember being like, we only have this when we come to Dad's house. And I didn't like it.
Okay.
Probably shocks you, right?
Well, I'm sure there's something deeper with that. So.
Yeah. But they say that they have got a little something called Omni Pork, which... Just what is that? That feels like a pork superhero. Like a pig is a superhero,
like
and he's an Omni Pork.
No.
But no, Omni Pork has Omni Pig.
That's it.
It's a whole thing. I can see it all.
Is that the vegan one though?
Yeah, it is. So they're saying that this is vegan spam
that you can get
that is going to be coming to the United States.
It's a established food scientist team. It looks like it's out of Canada, and now they have a vegan spam.
Vegan spam. Now, Nikki, how do you feel about it? Now, you wouldn't eat normal spam, obviously.
No, but when I was vegan,
what if I veganized it?
I don't know. I mean, I guess it just depends on if you grew up in... What are you whispering over there?
You would have.
I think if you grew up with it and you loved it and it was something that was hard for you to give up and you became a vegan, then yeah, sure, this would be great to have an alternative.
Man, guys, I've seen Nikki eat like the weirdest stuff and be like, it tastes just like blank.
It's fine.
When in reality, it tastes nothing.
Yeah, but if you are committed and you want to have some alternatives, then you're happy to even get close to it.
So... According to Nikki, if you want to be committed and find some alternatives, this is...
It's a possibility.
All right.
And remember, like now it's very popular. Like vegan is great. I was one for a while. But now there's just saying, hey, even if you want to sometimes make changes to certain meals, so you maybe eat normal spam sometimes, but you're ready to try an alternative every so often, it's still good to have those products.
I don't want the real. I don't want the fake. But if you do, that's fine.
My only question, does it still come out of a can? Like, is that part of the experience? And does it need to mimic some of that?
And what about that weird, like the gooey gel
the
fat
jelly sort of stuff
that's in there?
They haven't covered it.
I don't want it.
So they've had success for other Omni food products throughout Asia for their alternatives. And they said that it's made with non-GMO soybean, beetroot to give its natural red color, and they're ready to release it here.
And beetroots and everything. Like beet. That's it.
What should we do to make this work? Put some beets in it.
Beets!
That'll fix it.
You almost missed hearing this one. We just couldn't let that happen. The Worst of the Riot, RadioU.
Like, it is really becoming the hotness for places to pay you to move there and live there and work remotely.
Well, I think the problem is a lot of smaller towns years ago had people like leave to go work in.
Because there was no place, no work.
Yeah, so then you'd go work in a bigger city. So then once people were in bigger cities and realized it's more money to live there, that now they don't have to work there, but they can still keep the job. They can live anywhere.
Sure.
Why don't you go move back to some place where it's cheaper?
Well, I'll tell you, cost of living is a legit thing. Like, if you can find a place where cost of living is kind of low, you'd be amazed what you can get versus, say, what you would go to a high cost of living.
Yeah.
That's why I live where I live, because it's way cheaper. Like the house I bought, it's so much cheaper where I live now versus like other places I looked at.
But while you can still keep the job where you originally had to stay in a higher cost of living area to have that.
Yes, indeed. So West Virginia is starting a new program that they're calling... Ascend WV. That's the name of the initiative.
Yeah.
And the idea is that they will give you $12,000 and a year's worth of free outdoor recreation, which, as I understand it, means that you'll get like free access to
parks and stuff.
Parks, outdoor gear rentals. So like renting bikes and stuff from the state if you go to a state park. And they're also going to give you like a discount on getting certifications through West Virginia University. I don't know. And $12,000. You have to move to Morgantown.
Morgantown? Do you have to stay? A lot of times they make you stay there for so long.
It doesn't. I do not see. Like, I'll admit I didn't dig, because you're right. A lot of times they'll be like, yeah, and after you've lived here for 3 years,
they'll give you money. They usually, sometimes the other places will parcel it out throughout the years, but you have to buy a house, and I don't know if that's the case for this one, or you just have to live there.
I'm trying to scroll through here to see what the specifics is. I didn't actually check to see like, hey, what's the hook? Like, do you have to have a year, 5 or whatever? It doesn't say.
This one seems more outdoorsy, which might be good, but you can look at other cities that are still offering the money incentive to get you to move to their area without the outdoor stuff.
Well, that
and
actually,
they'll give you more money.
That's their hook, is they're just like, look, there's so much outdoor stuff to do.
Yeah, that
in
you should
West
be
Virginia,
living there.
that if you love that kind of lifestyle, you typically would associate that with, say, the Pacific Northwest. And they're like, hey, look at what we have here. And their cost of living is $400. Okay. They say their cost of living in general is 94% lower. Is that than the average? No, compared to Washington, D.C.
Well,
come on.
That's expensive.
Well, okay, Nikki.
But maybe that's the biggest area they see that's close to them that they want to try to get people to move from.
How about this, Nikki? Where we live, our general area, 10% lower cost of living, 63% lower housing costs.
So it's enough.
That'd be a chunk.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to move there, but, if somebody else does.
I know, like, where's the island? I want that island incentive where they're like, will you please just live here? Will you just take the whole island? And we'll build you a house and, take some pictures every so often.
And we'll have that Starlink, Elon Musk internet, so you're going to have plenty of speed.
I want really high-speed internet. I want a nice bungalow on the beach, and that's what I would like someone to offer me.
The only thing is Amazon only comes once a month.
That's fine. You know what? I don't want stuff. Maybe we only want stuff because we live in high-priced areas where we're unhappy at.
So you're saying your happiness level increases, your desire to buy decreases.
I can't. If I'm in the ocean, I don't need to buy any more stuff.
That's fair. That's totally fair.
So if anybody reads about some sort of opening with that, and I don't want it to be a new island or like it's been uninhabited and now you're the first. I want something that's a bit more established, and I want it to be real, and I want to live on the beach.
Everything you're saying, Nikki.
So
I'm in.
Worst of the Riot podcast.
So I came across something in the news the other day that I was really excited about, like really excited. And it occurred to me, I didn't have anyone that I could tell this news to that would get it.
Oh, that would be as excited about it.
It was just one of those things where, and I'm not saying this feel bad for me. I'm just wondering, and I would love to hear from you. 877-2-RADIO-U. I want you to text us and tell us, what is the thing, like, I don't care, like 10 years, 15 years, 2 years, what, like that you've come across where like, I'm so excited, I got nobody to tell.
Nobody's as excited about you.
I've just got nobody, and it would take me 5 minutes to explain it to you, and then you would just realize that while you are now informed, you do not care.
But that's why you have to find someone like a Reddit forum or something, because there's always going to be a group of people that appreciate it.
Yeah.
But I know you want someone who's really excited about it.
it's just a strange thing. Like where I'm excited. This is really cool. Wow. It's happened after all these years.
Is it the Mystery Science Theater stuff?
No, even that. It's more obscure than that.
Okay.
And so it just comes down to, there's an old show called Robotech. There was a part of it called Macross. There's been an international rights dispute that has gone on for 30 years.
From the movie or
20 years. I think it was the mid 80s. I don't know, whatever, 30, whenever it was that it happened, and they've resolved it. So there's all these things that can now be released that were never able to be released before.
About that.
And I'm excited about it. And it's just bro,
Good luck.
Nobody to tell.
So what is it? Robotech?
It doesn't matter.
Well, no, it does. Because we're here to appreciate this stuff. I just want to know. And this is how you find a friend who would also.
I just want to know if there's anybody else that do you know what I did? I reached out to a friend from junior high and sent the link to him. And you know what? He was like, dude. And I was
excited.
I know.
You found somebody.
That was the one person. But 877-2-RADIO-U.
I think your problem is you go real deep with a lot of stuff, and it's just not as common for everybody to understand it.
I go deep on things nobody cares about. Whereas, if I would have been like, oh my gosh, look at this sports statistic, I would be you'd have so many friends. I'd have so many friends I wouldn't even know what to do with myself. I'd be like, wow, look at me suddenly in the middle of this popular population.
Well, I think though, it's better now than it used to be, because you could go deep on a Marvel thing, and I think you could find someone who'd be excited to learn about that.
Easily.
But this is not.
No.
That's not. So.
No.
Robotech and what did you say?
It doesn't.
Microtech?
Macross.
Macross?
Yeah.
Okay.
Super Dimension Fortress Macross.
Is it a motocross thing?
It's not.
It's not.
Don't think it's, no.
Is it a robot thing?
Kind of.
Kind of, sort of. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
but it's fine.
That's fine.
I'm fine. Are you fine?
Yeah. Most of my stuff's pretty.
Yeah, I know.
Pretty mainstream with it.
I know. It's just.
And if you ever come across something, guys, you send it to us and you share with us, because we'll enjoy it and be happy with you.
But the thing is, too, is even if when we're someone's going to be oh, I know what Robotech is. I know. But do you know about the decades-long international rights dispute?
That's when you lose everybody. Because no one knows about that.
Really? Oh, yeah.
Well, actually, we should say the people that have been in the dispute for all those years, they care about it, but no one outside of that.
They're out there I knew someone would get it.
Aw, well, that's good. So you'll get more robo.
No.
If you've ever asked yourself, just how bad can it get? We've got your answer right here. Worst of the Riot, RadioU.
We missed something kind of important yesterday, Nikki. And I know, everybody get ready for your eye rolls. I don't even care.
Well, we like rolls.
Eye rolls? Are those... They have eyes in them? Or
I still have leftover Hawaiian rolls from Easter thing, and those are pretty good.
Oh, I can't. There's no such thing as leftover Hawaiian rolls where I'm from.
Get out of it. So roll away is what I'm saying.
Yesterday, April 12th, was the 60th anniversary of Yuri Gagarin being the first person in space. And then yesterday was also the 40th anniversary of the first launch of the Space Shuttle Columbia. So that was the first time that we had sent a space shuttle to space. Went up, came down a couple days later. That actually, I don't know if it was the same day or not, but they did a couple orbits, and it was all just to test out the space shuttle. Fantastic.
There it is.
I got to tell you, Nikki, we're into stuff that I tell people that they don't care about.
Sure.
But I've been watching For All Mankind on Apple TV. That's
exactly why I knew you were going to say that. You were. That's the whole reason why he's still into this stuff. It's just that show.
It's brought it way back for me. So, in that
show, you might have perused over those stats that you just told us, and you might not even have cared about it. Except you are watching For All Mankind. Oh my gosh,
dude! In that show,
which I hear no one else talk about.
Nobody talks about it. Nobody cares. And I want you to know that Sunday night when I got home, I got a chance to catch up on last week's episode. Gordo, one of the astronauts in the show, after a 10-year absence, is back on the Space Shuttle Columbia, and he's going to the moon. And I want you to know, I cheered alone in my basement. I was like, yes! And It was just one of those moments where I was like, daggone it. Why doesn't anybody like anything?
Well, listen, the For All Mankind, it's his second season.
It's fake.
Is it not done yet? How many episodes does it have?
They've already picked it up for a third season.
But like outside of the second, like how many are in the second season?
I don't know. I almost don't want to know. I don't want it to end because I know it's coming. Like I finally hit a point where I have 2 shows every weekend I love. Like whatever the Marvel thing is. And because I mean, now it's Falcon and Winter Soldier, but then it'll be Loki and then it'll be whatever. But then I also have this. And so it's like an hour and a half to 2 hours of stuff that I'm not watching like, oh, this is okay. I'm like excited to sit down and watch.
Well, you'll get a third season then, but I just don't see.
Nobody cares.
It's Apple TV, and no offense, because I mean, I have everything else Apple, but just not a lot of people are into that as much as other streaming services.
I'm telling you, he puts his feet back on the moon, and I was like, yes!
After 10 years.
Gordo! This guy, his life was torn apart. His wife left him. He got fat. He was a drunk, and he put his life back together.
And
he got rid of the booze. He got in shape. He's back on the moon, and I was just like, come on!
Well, that is a feel-good story right there.
I was rooting for him, and the only thing I hate about it is, you know what they do on TV when somebody has a good turn and things get good? He's going to die up there for sure.
Oh,
right?
Probably.
I know. That's what I thought. I was like, I'm all excited. This guy's turning his life around, and I'm like, oh, he's going to die. Or his kid. Or something. Like something terrible is in this guy's future.
There was a pretty good high running through that whole thing until you brought that up.
I know. It's part of why I like...
Just kind of ruined it because you could see it coming.
Okay, this is something else I deal with, and I'm not even kidding about this. If I start to really, really like a show, I like it so much I almost can't watch it.
Yeah.
Because my anxiety is just like, I'll sit down and watch it, and I'm like, I just can't take it.
Hey, we got to get you some more shows that you don't care as much about.
They're going to kill Gordo!
They haven't even done anything yet.
They're going to. I feel it. Oh, I feel it, Nikki. It's going to happen.
This is why I don't watch TV with you. There's too much. It's just too much.
Would you say that I'm a bit extra?
Yeah, I think that's it. Passionate about it. Way passionate. And that's good on your own time.
I feel things really deeply.
We would say rate and review the podcast. But let's be honest, that would probably hurt more than hell. The worst of the Riot podcast.
Are you a man? Are you a conservative? Then according to the latest research, about 35% of conservatives in general are not, and that's politically conservative, I guess, are not going to take the COVID vaccine.
Oh, is that what they're saying?
And they're like, listen, we gotta do something. I mean,
did you see how they're trying to reach them?
That's exactly where we're going. That's exactly where we're going.
If you're this, I don't know if you feel offended that this is all that they think you watch. And it might be part of the reason why you're more annoyed at certain parts of this whole setup. Because this is how they think they're supposed to reach you. If you're a conservative male. And for some, it might be spot on. But for others, I don't think.
They're going to start running ads during NASCAR. Deadliest Catch and on CMT
for country music
TV.
So they think that if they run ads to encourage you to get the vaccine, that's the places their advertising is going to start off with.
That's right. It feels like, okay, I mean, I get it. You know, there are political differences, et cetera, et cetera. Some stereotypes exist because they're true. And I'll just tell you, I've got some older conservative friends that absolutely watch NASCAR. I don't know about Deadliest Catch, but I know they watch NASCAR.
Sure.
Okay, I get it. But there's also this feeling of like, it just feels like a bunch of people went in a room and they're like, I don't know. What do they like? I'll tell you what they like. They like NASCAR, Deadliest Catch, and guns.
No, it feels like, you know, everybody who's not politically conservative went into a room and it was someone who doesn't agree with their dad's politics.
Yes.
One person.
Exactly.
And they went by, well, that person's dad watches, you know, country music award shows, Deadliest Catch, and NASCAR. And they said, okay, well, that's what we're going to do.
Do any of you guys even know a conservative? One hand finally goes up. My dad.
And that's
What's
all they
had.
What's he
watch? All right.
That's all they had to go by.
We're going to run vaccine commercials on these channels.
So if you watch any of those shows and you start seeing more, then that's why they're advertising to try to get into that target.
I love it. I do. I just love it. So
maybe they shouldn't have said that they were doing that.
I feel that, okay. I agree with that. I feel like once you tell me, they're like, I'm doing this to convince you to do what I want. And now I'm like, well, now I'm really not doing what you want.
Now you don't want it.
I mean, I'm watching NASCAR, but I'm muting all the commercials.
I know. I'm not watching the commercial stuff anyways.
I'm going to make sure your message doesn't get in because it's part of your world domination. You're putting fluoride in the water.
It doesn't help that side of things.
It doesn't.
When they tell you in such a way.
It doesn't. It doesn't help. Oh, I love it so much.
This is RadioU's Worst of the Riot.
Nintendo has a little news for us, Nikki. And I love how it's good news / bad news.
Well, they know how to present news in a way that hurts you, but also keeps you sticking around.
Here's what they said. Nikkei, or is it Nikkei? It's
Nikki.
You know what, Nikki?
You're welcome.
You get a hug when the show's over.
No, you're not allowed to.
You earned your hug today, okay?
COVID rules.
It's not a grace hug. It's a I'm so proud of you hug.
You were close.
How was I blind to it the whole time?
I know.
It was right there.
It was perfect.
Okay, so this thing
Yeah.
in Japan, it's a gaming news outlet kind of thing, and I believe also a newspaper. But they talked to Nintendo, and Nintendo was like, hey, guys, just to let you know, we have plenty of stuff to keep making Switches. So they're going to keep rolling out for a while, and then the shortage comes.
So they're just warning everybody that
it's coming.
Another Switch shortage, even though I think by now, if you want one, I think a lot of people probably would already had one, but I guess not.
I think people are it's still a thing. So I feel like Nintendo has basically come out and they're like, hey, if you want one, better buy it now.
They might be starting to, it's not artificially creating a shortage, but like last spring was all about getting a Nintendo Switch. Everybody was quarantining at home. Everybody wanted to play Animal Crossing and whatever game, and everybody wanted a Switch. So they were super hard to find, and they were very much inflated price-wise.
Yes. And now it's the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox that are like that, and the Switch is not.
The Switch will come back. They just want to see last spring happen again.
So they say they don't have enough. Their time is coming. They're going to run out of material, so there will probably be another Switch shortage. Buy one now. I'll tell you what, honestly, if you care about how it seems to be hard to get certain products these days, like why are all these electronics so hard to get? If you do or don't, I don't know if you're up to it, but I follow Linus Tech Tips on YouTube.
Yeah.
And he did a video last week and a half ago, basically discussing why all of these companies are experiencing all of these microchip shortages. And it has to do with this one particular like manufacturing process and all this stuff. It was a fascinating watch to understand where that all comes from and why it's working that way right now. But that might not be interesting enough to you to dig it out.
So just
it's
know
there
that
if you want it.
It's a chip famine. It's not a potato chip thing. It's an electronic thing. It's a chip thing where that with switches and other electronic items, there has been a disruption in the manufacturing, which just makes it harder for them to make enough of a product to keep up with the demand for it.
Yeah, and that's across a lot of industries that use electronics. So it's not just like video games.
Yeah.
It's impacting a lot of things.
Well, at Costco last week, I did see a big display of Switches, and I was like,
You
oh,
did?
yeah. Oh, yeah. I was like,
Okay.
oh, there's a ton of them. But, like those, that's not the now. Like the ones they have now, that's from, them getting it over the past couple of months, and then they just put them all out there. So it almost is like that's how you can see a shortage is coming when you see that those are then all gone.
Maybe you're right, Nikki. Maybe, oh, gosh, we should buy some
It's the Ebenezer what's coming thing.
What may be or what will be.
Yeah.
You and I should buy some Switches now, sit on them, and then when it starts to get tough out
But
there.
if it doesn't, I don't want to be stuck with them.
But if we bought them at Costco, you can just return them.
They're like, why did you return? They usually limit how many you can buy.
Really?
Yeah, they do.
Okay. Let's off air. Let's talk.
You just start getting your parents like, can you guys go in and get a
Will you
Switch
pick
while
up
you're in
5
there?
of these?
And I'll pay you back, but
Don't worry. It'll pay for itself.
This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
This is, I hate everything now. I don't want anything.
Well, no, that's not a great attitude. You don't have to like everything, but...
No, it's not that I hate everything. It's you can't get anything.
I know.
I don't even understand why we announce things anymore, because basically all we're doing is we're telling you a story about a far-off land where something happened.
For the mythical item.
And you'll never get it. I might as well read you Jack and the Beanstalk, because, we're talking magic beans here. You're not going to find them. They're all gone.
It is hard.
See you later.
It is hard. But eventually, one day it'll probably be out there.
No.
Never.
It's over.
Because remember, even we still have the whole, remember that boat thing from last month? You're not going to get anything still, because that caused all those problems.
I was like, what boat thing?
Remember that?
I got it.
Yeah, that boat.
And it wasn't last month. That was last week, right?
No, the boat thing was, you were on vacation last week. That boat thing was a while ago. The Suez Canal thing?
I don't think.
Well, okay, I'll look while you.
Like Easter weekend? Right?
Was it?
I thought it. All right. Anyway, look, Dolly Parton teamed up with Jenny's Ice Cream to put out strawberry pretzel pie ice cream, which, by the way, sounds delicious. Strawberry pretzel pie is really good. You ever had that?
I have not.
You know what? It's good. I do think it's kind of a Southern thing, because it was my relatives from
the South.
That's where I had it. And you know what? It was
good.
It was good.
Yeah.
It was really good. Well, this ice cream from Jenny's Ice Cream, I guess it came out last week. Didn't even know about it. They say they had 50 times the web traffic on the Jenny's Ice Cream website.
For people to buy it.
So people are buying it. The money for it went to benefit the Imagination Library Childhood Literacy Organization.
Dolly Parton's she's just this wonderful person. Everybody always says, because she does so many charitable organizations. And that's her thing, where I think up to a certain age, you just get free books sent to you as a kid. And that's really nice.
Awesome. So the issue here is everybody's bought this up, and now they're selling it on eBay.
Someone's reselling the ice cream?
Give me a freaking break.
And they're reselling it for a pretty good amount.
We're reselling ice cream.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
So some of it is going for as much as $1,000. Now, that's not all of it, and you might be able to get something for a little bit less. But that and the shipping cost alone, that's a lot of money for a pint of ice cream.
What? No.
Well, the one thing I don't like is that's not going to Dolly Parton's Imagination Library. That's going to the person who's just reselling it. They're making that profit.
I just the secondary market. It has taken. People
have made it their jobs to buy things and resell it.
It's taken the fun out of everything. When you're that's a strong statement. No. Look, everything. I didn't feel that way, but now they've got the ice cream too.
Yeah. Well, the joke's there that, with Jenny's, it's pretty expensive ice cream. Maybe the pint is not far off from $1,000 anyway.
That's fair. That's fair. Okay.
You have to recognize it's very expensive. So, people who want to still try the ice cream from Dolly Parton, and there's others that want to sell what they bought.
I feel like I've turned into some grumpy old man. Nikki and I were I love buying things online, but I'm getting to a point now where I'm just can I just go to the store, please? Do I have to fight with a computer program on the other side of the world to get a pint of ice cream?
Yes.
What does it take?
Yes, you do.
Oh, my gosh.
All right. Well, we're no more show news involving things that are really interesting or neat or cool, but you're not going to get.
That's where you're wrong, because that's all there is to talk about.
All the fun food items you can't get a hold of unless you just happen to get one by miracle.
You just happen to trip and fall at a Walmart, look under a shelf, and you reach and grab it before
you see one there. Yeah,
somebody's drone flies by and grabs it.
It's not a good time.
Thanks for listening to the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Oh no, I missed it. Do it again.
You can hear us live every day on the RadioU network through the RadioU app or at riot.radiou.com.
If they're killing the cow, I might as well get in on that.